Hi, my name is Robin Zander. I'm going to introduce a series of movements called the Pelvic Clock. This isn't your traditional sports or fitness exercise, but this can be a great secondary to any activity that you do. Please do these movements slowly and gently. Pay close attention to how you're moving, and look for change over the course of just this 5-10 minute exercise program. Again, this is the introduction to the Pelvic Clock, and I hope you enjoy this program. So let's begin. Please lie on your back. You may lie on a yoga mat, on a blanket, or just on the floor. And take a moment to notice how you are lying on the floor. Feel the contact of your heels with the floor, your legs. Notice the contact of your pelvis with the floor. Compare how the right side of your pelvis is in contact with the floor to the left side of your pelvis. Continue on up your spine. Feel the contact of your low back with the floor, the middle of your back, your upper back, your neck, and finally your head. And bend your knees and place your feet in standing. Feel how your pelvis is lying on the floor now. Notice your lower back. Does it arch a little bit away from the floor? And gently and slowly begin increasing the contact of your lower back with the floor, pushing your lower back into the floor. As you do this, allow your tailbone to roll a little bit up towards your head. You're not actually lifting your pelvis off the ground, but just rolling it a little bit up. And then release this and come back to the neutral. And use this same sense of slow, really paying attention to what you're doing. Allow your pelvis to roll up a little bit, pressing your lower back into the floor, and then back to neutral. And do this movement a few more times, 3 or 4 more times. Each time going gently and slowly. Don't hold the position, but explore how far can you comfortably roll your pelvis like this, and then back down. Notice what else is moving. Do you feel movement in your head, in your shoulders, in your chest? And stop that. Straighten your legs and rest for just a moment. Give your brain a chance to catch up, to figure out what you've been doing. And now bend your knees and place your feet in standing. And begin to increase the arch of your lower back, rolling your pelvis such that more of your tailbone comes into contact with the ground. So you're arching your lower back just a little bit away from the floor. And noticing what does it feel like to move your pelvis, to roll your pelvis down in this position. In a way, you're doing the opposite of what you were doing just before. Use this same sense of slow to roll your pelvis down towards your feet and then back to the neutral. And notice if you feel your head nodding, your chin coming in closer contact to your sternum. Like your head knows how to participate a little bit as you move your pelvis down and then back to the neutral. Lower your legs long and take a short rest. These rests are quite important. As a way to let your nervous system catch up, to integrate what you've been doing, to learn from your experience. Bend your knees again. Place your feet in standing. And this time imagine that you're lying on a clock on the floor. The clock is on the floor underneath your pelvis. So the 12 o'clock is where your lower back is. and the 6 o'clock is more or less at your tailbone. And slowly, gently, begin increasing the contact of your lower back with the floor, and imagine that you're rolling your pelvis up towards 12 o'clock, and then come back down to neutral. And repeat this a couple of times. And then do the opposite. Increase the arch of your low back and roll your pelvis slowly towards 6 o'clock. And notice if more of you becomes involved in the movement. You have a clearer sense as to how to keep your chest involved, keep your head involved, to really feel more of you participating. Could you use your feet to push into the floor a little bit to help with this movement? And lower your legs long and take a rest. Bend your knees, feet in standing. And finally combine these movements. So start by rolling your pelvis a little bit towards 12 o'clock, flattening your lower back into the floor, and then gently, slowly roll back through the neutral and continue in that same direction towards 6 o'clock, increasing the contact of your tailbone with the floor. Your lower back arches further. And go back and forth like this between 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. A couple more times, a few more times. Go a little bit faster now, but do a smaller movement. Flop your pelvis. Toss your pelvis like this between 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Just a little flip, flop. Really brief, small, quick movements. A little fun tossing of your pelvis. Even faster. And then stop that. Lower your legs long. And take a rest, please. And feel how you're lying on the floor now. Scan yourself. Notice any changes that you feel in the contact you have with the ground. And get up slowly and walk around a little bit. Thank you very much for watching this introduction to the pelvic clock.